You're tuned in to Inside Lowell. Inside Lowell podcast brought to you in part by Washington Savings Bank, serving the greater Lowell community for over 130 years. Make the switch now to Washington Savings Bank. Unicare, offering a variety of plans for people insured under the GIC. At Unicare, your health is their top priority. Reverie 73, Lowell's #1 cannabis shop. Elevate your cannabis experience at Reverie 73. Hafner's, heating and cooling homes and businesses for nearly a century. Become a part of the Hafner's family. It kicks. Boston North Company, offering a wide variety of business solutions to help restaurant and retail clients save money. Boston North. And by Mahoney Oil Company, providing warmth and protection to families in Greater Lowell and Southern New Hampshire since 1925. That's Mahoney Oil. And now, time for another Inside Lowell podcast. Inside Lowell. If Lowell is your home, this is your place.
Buongiorno. Welcome to the Grapefully Yours Wine Podcast. We're coming to you from the beautiful downtown studio of InsideLowell.com. I am Jim Campanini, the co-host of the show, with the wine butler, my good friend, Mike Pigeon. In Italian, we say amico.
Amico.
You know, amico. And we have a producer with us today, Teddy Panos. How are you today, Teddy?
I'm great, gentlemen. Welcome.
Okay. Yes, you can join in anytime you want. Just don't interfere when Mike is speaking. You know, he has so much eloquence to add to this show.
It's a short show, so I have to get it in there.
How was your week? All right.
Excellent week. Yeah. Healthy, no colds, there's no flu. I think is all gone, and
I finally got a victory too. The Patriots won.
Yeah.
New England Patriots.
Yeah.
So we're on a roll. 1-game winning streak.
Well, I said at the beginning of the season, 4 wins at the most. They're up to 3 now. So that Jets last game of the year, I think, will be the one.
Beautiful.
We'll see.
Okay, so today we did a rescheduling because Daisy Zouzis rescheduled. We're going to talk about champagne and sparkling wines for the holiday. She's going to be on our next show, which will be, we'll do that, tape that next Tuesday. So Daisy's all excited. She'll be in there next Tuesday. She'll watch the show. We're going to have a collection of some sparkling wines, and we'll talk about some good holiday drinks, okay, with the sparkling wines. But today we have a great show, and it's we're going to try to condense the Nebbiolo grape, which is from the Piedmont region, the Piedmont in northern Italy. So there are 2 great regions in Italy for wine, and in the north. And one is the Piedmont, which is the northern section. It's right. If you look at a map, it extends over the Ligurian Sea, the coast. Genoa is just below it, and then you have Tuscany, which is south of the Piemonte, okay, and stretches all the way to the, to the Venetian, to Venice, the Veneto, and the Adriatic seaside, okay? So, but like Sangiovese is the primary noble grape of Tuscany. Okay, a lot of wines are made from Sangiovese.
Brunello's.
Okay, yeah. Brunello's, Vino Nobile di Montepulciano. Okay, there's another one. So there's the Super Tuscans. They're all based from the Sangiovese grape. In the Piedmont, the king grape, okay, is Nebbiolo, which is the foundation for Barolo. Okay, the great Barolo wine, one of Italy's most prestigious wines, with Brunello, and most age-worthy wines. Barolos can age for up to 50 years, if properly cellared. Okay, so I don't know why anybody would want to wait 50 years to drink a Barolo, but
not to drink it, but as an investment.
As an investment. Okay. So anyway, we're going to show you 3 different wines that are made from the Nebbiolo grape. Okay. And we've got a Barolo here, okay. We've got a Barbaresco here, which is both both Barbaresco and Barolo are places and also wines in the Piedmont region, okay, made from Nebbiolo. And then we have a Dominic Clerico Nebbiolo grape from the Langhe. Langhe is the region of hills and valleys where the Nebbiolo grape thrives. So this is what they call a young baby Brunello, not aged as long, but you can drink this young, where these other wines need some aging. Did I say that? Did you understand that? Okay. What do you now? You love Nebbiolo, the grape. Why do you like it?
I just like it's a good tasting wine. Barbaresco, the produttore, that has always been my favorite. And the Nebbiolo, when I drank it straight, I said I might not, but it's a little more gentler. It's an excellent wine. You know, that's why Italian and French wines have such a reputation. They're good.
Yeah. So these wines really are elegant. Okay. They have structure, complexity, and the longer you keep a Barolo in your cellar, it's going to evolve. It's going to change from its original taste. It will still capture some of that fruity, but it'll be very, very vibrant. Acidity. That's why it's a great food wine with gamey meats and big
hearted dishes.
Big hearty dishes. Ragu, pasta and stuff. But traditionally, Barolo is a high alcohol wine. And according to the requirements, it's a DOCG wine, as is Barbaresco, a DOCG wine, which is the highest quality tier, meaning it has strict production requirements. It's got to be at least 14.5%. Okay, the wine, and it has to be aged for at least 38 months. So they produce this wine, and then they've got to age it for 38 months, and 12 months of that has to be in oak. Okay, but the reserva there's a Barolo reserva. Reserva means aging. Okay, the reserva has to be aged for 62 months. That's 5 years. So even though the vintage, like this is a 2016, I couldn't purchase this wine until it was like I think it was 2019 I purchased it. And imagine waiting 5 years. The reserva of this wine, you'd have to wait till 2021 to you could buy it. Okay, so because a young Barolo like that, a complex wine, would be a little harsh, tannic, and it wouldn't have all the great layers that are evolving in there, and then the Barbaresco, that has to be aged before it can be hit the market. That has to be aged up to 18 months, and then 8 months in barrel. Okay, that's the Barbaresco. Barbarescos are usually lighter in alcohol, okay, and lighter in structure. Okay, they're well made, but they're just a little lighter than the big boy here. This is called the King of Piedmont. This would be the Queen of the Piedmont. Okay. And I don't want to get any feminine letters or anything like that, okay? But that's how we can describe it, okay? And now, this is a young Nebbiolo from Dominic Clerico, one of the top winemakers in the Piedmont. He's been an experimenter all his life. He's got a great spot in the Langhe Hills, Monte Forte d'Alba. Okay, this is the cutoff point in the Langhe Hills in the region of Piedmont, where if you go below it, it gets the climate and the soils are just not productive, okay, for the Barolo grape. A little cooler, and Barolo has to be at least 1,600 feet above sea level for the vineyards to grow the grapes.
And that's where Nebbiolo got its name, from Nebbia, the fog
the
that
fog.
comes in up
Yes.
with the mountains. They say it's beautiful in the fall with the golden vines, and then it disappears into gray.
Good point, Mike. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. And the langue means tongue, because the hills and valleys, they go out like a tongue, you know, in that area and stuff. But Dominic Clerico, what he created this in 2009. And what he did, he wanted the true expression of the grape without too much interference from the wood. So he ferments this in steel, and then he ages it, okay, in steel tanks and the clay amphora. Okay, that's how they do it in Portugal, Spain. A lot of them, the ancient grapes. The Greeks used to do it, the clay amphora and stuff. And so what it does, it gives it a slightly different characteristics. You taste that a little more fruitiness to it, but it's also lighter in alcohol and a little lighter in color. It's not as, it doesn't pick up those, like, this is really, what would you say?
Light.
Rose. Yeah. It almost looks like a light Pinot Noir or something. But look at those ruby highlights. I don't know if we can pick that up, but very ruby highlights, strawberry hues and stuff. So if you really want to be introduced to what Barbaresco and Barolo might taste like, okay, this is the wine that you would try, the Nebbiolo, okay? And then you can, step up. All right, because the Barbaresco, this is going to cost you about $40 to $45 a bottle of Barbaresco. This is the Barolos go anywhere from $45 up to $1,000. Okay, but most of them that I have in my cellar between $60 and $80. Okay, and I think this costs $72, $62, something like that. When I bought it in 2019, it's now, if you were to find the 2016, which was rated 97 points, if you find it online, it's $100 or more. So let's taste this Nebbiolo, Mike, and see what you think, and then we'll tell you a little about the wine. Rose petals. I smell rose petals in the.
Very nice, clear, sharp. Doesn't overwhelm you with any strong hit or a rich taste, but it's nice, clear, sharp, a little bit wine.
How about the dusty tannins though, huh? It's still got that tannic quality. I mean, this is a 2022.
Same grape. They just haven't left the tannins in it as long. I don't think.
It's dry.
I mean,
and it ends very dry, but it still has
seeds.
it still has a nice taste and flow. So this could age. This is a 2022. This is a young one. This could age, I imagine, 3 to 5 years if you wanted to in your cellar. It's only going to get a little more. It's going to get softer. It's going to get softer over 3 to 5 years. But it's a nice drinking wine now. Oh man, you get that fruit quality. Nebbiolo is such a classic grape and classic taste. So let's say what Clerico's point was. He wanted to show the natural expression of Barolo. If you take everything away, he wanted to highlight the land, the terroir. There's a special soil, they call it a Tortonian soil, that is in this area, Monteforte d'Alba, which is where the Dolcetto d'Alba, Barbera d'Asti, Barbera d'Alba, okay, come from. And so Capismo means understand me. He wants you to drink this to get a taste of the Nebbiolo and to embrace it and to, understand me, what I am, okay, from this, from where this comes from, okay, and by putting it in stainless steel, he's trying to keep it from any outside influence of wood, and he's and then the clay amphora. Once again, a lot of ancient wines were made in concrete. The Italians still do it, especially in southern Italy and stuff. So this is going to hold up to those essential qualities of what the grape is without any interference. And I think I tell you, it really gives you a good expression of that Nebbiolo grape. And I just love it. I love it.
It'd make a lot of people that tasted it want to move up, I think, too, to the Barbaresco and the Barolo, just to say, wow, let's see what it is after a period of time.
Yeah. You could have this with a meat pizza, okay, if you wanted to just have it light. But I would suggest, pasta and meatballs, a sausage, or a ragu sauce. Even, you could probably even have it get away with it with steak and stuff. I mean, Barolo and Barbaresco are great.
The first time I had that, we had it with ossobuco. That's when I really fell in love with it. Yeah.
And so Vino Italiano, Mike and I took a trip down to David Mayone's place a little more than a week ago, and David wasn't there, just like he's the owner, but Charles was there, his number one assistant, formerly from Chelmsford, Mass. Great guy, and we were there to pick up an order, and Charles said, "Hey, there's the wine we had the other night. The Dominic Clerico people were in here, and I think it was Dominic Clerico's daughter who now helps him. I think her name is Elizabeth. She helps him now in the vineyard. She's becoming, his winemaker in waiting. But he says there's a wine you got to try here. He says it was fabulous the other night. People went crazy over it. It costs $27 a bottle, okay? And Mike and I picked up a bottle apiece, so we didn't try this before this show, and wanted to give it a whirl. But I think Charles' recommendation was right on. And I think I would buy more of this, because this would be a great wine for nice holiday meals where you have meat, you're serving meat and stuff, but it's you wouldn't want to serve this with fish appetizers. Okay?
No.
But any big pasta dishes, antipastos, it would go right.
That's what's good about Charles and Sam at the Wine Connection. They know so much about wine. They point you in the direction you might want to go, or if you haven't, well, we'll give it a try, because their word is that good.
Yeah. And Mike and I also visited the Wine Connection Saturday. They had a nice tasting up there, public free tasting. We looked at some of the new stock, bought some holiday wines, and this Saturday from 1 to 5 at the Wine Connection, they're going to have their champagne tastings and sparkling wine tastings. So if you don't want to wait until next Tuesday's show, why don't you go there? It's a nice day, enjoy yourself. They always get a nice little crowd there, and a great staff. They'll explain those wines to you. But they got, the Mum from Napa Valley sparkling wine, done in the same way as a champagne, $18.99. They get it on sale right now, and then they've got some other fabulous but small estate French champagnes that you'd be surprised the prices. You can pick them up in the 30s or $40. You don't have to spend $100 for a great bottle of sparkling wine.
And let's not forget the Cremant also.
Oh, well, I picked up a bottle of the Cremant, which is my favorite. And like we mentioned before on the show, Cremant is what they call champagne, where it's produced any other place outside of Champagne and
It's that
France.
simple.
It's
That's
simple. So
And it's
you
good.
can't call it Champagne. You call it Cremant.
But it
if
is,
it's
yeah,
produced
yeah.
if it's produced outside the Champagne zone. So now you've got a Nebbiolo that you like. What's the kind that you like?
You know, I forget the name when we had a Mama Maria's in the North End, and that's when I really I had it with the and I forget the name. I bought a case of it too at that time.
Yes.
And I forget the name of it, you know, because you've got me trying so many different wines, and they're all good. If I lock and I forget what it was.
What did you spend on that bottle? You know, the case. By buying a case, you must have got a discount.
Yeah, I think it was like $21 a bottle.
So
And it was
Nebbiolo,
really good.
there are good deals on Nebbiolo, and most of the winemakers in Barolo, you know, they're veteran winemakers. They've lived in the area. For their family's been in there for decades, if not centuries. So you really can't buy a bad bottle. You know, it's going to, and like I said, it's one of the most, it's one of the most strictest controlled wines in Italy, along with Brunello, Aglianico. So they gotta follow these production guidelines for aging, and more of these vineyards are now going to biodynamic and sustainable farming methods. So there's not a whole lot of chemicals anymore put in the fertilizers or anything else. So you're tasting the true expression. And out of these three wines, you like Barbaresco, right? The best?
Yeah, if you put those three in front of me, and you know how good Barolo is, and this is very good, I'd pick the Barbaresco.
Yeah.
A little peppery or something. It's just nice. I don't know what it is.
So it's worthy of trying. You know, start out with the Nebbiolo. Okay, 100% Nebbiolo grape. It's a young wine that you can pop open right now and taste. This one could use a little aging, maybe a year or two. Could go up to 5 years. Then you go up to the Barbaresco, lighter than the Barolo, but still a great taste. And then you get the king, the big boy, the Barolo. You put this away for a special celebration, anniversary, you know, or you could buy an older Barolo now and then just pop it. But great wines from the Piedmont region. Closing thoughts.
Good wines again. Thanks for bringing them in. I enjoyed the tastings, and I'm a little familiar with them, which made it, good. Yeah,
Good.
wine.
All right. So until our next show, we're going to have Daisy. We're going to talk about sparkling wines.
Can't wait to see her. She comes in with shoes are glowing.
May the wine be with you, and go Patriots.
Yeah.